Treat will work with the team as a coach through the fall. He'll also graduate, and again, he's still dealing with those headaches every day. Our medical correspondent, Dr. Jennifer Ashton, is here now with more on the long-term damage from concussions. Jen, let's talk about this notion of sucking it up.
Right.
Get back on the field.
Yeah.
Is that changing?
Well, we want it to change, and let me tell you why it has to change. Otherwise, it could actually be deadly. If you think of a concussion in terms of the brain injury, there's swelling of the brain, there's electrical changes in the brain, there's metabolic changes in the brain. All of that can take weeks or even months to heal. If an athlete goes back to play too soon, they are more susceptible for a second hit, a second injury, and that injury, called the second impact syndrome, can actually be deadly.
Well, here's one question. How do you know if you have a concussion? Can you know exactly?
Any sport that is done at high speed that generates enough force that can cause a brain injury can give you a variety of symptoms, and these symptoms can be subtle. You can have anything from a headache to nausea or dizziness, confusion, a change in your mental status, a sensitivity to light or noise, undue fatigue or difficulty sleeping, and even a change in your emotion. And all of these symptoms can be difficult for both the athlete to recognize, their coaches, their parents, anyone around them. They're very, very subtle.
And it can also be difficult to figure out when it's time to go back, right?
That's right. And we need to remember here, Jeff, you don't have to have a loss of consciousness to have a concussion. You don't need to have an abnormal CAT scan to have a concussion. But when you talk about returning to play, it's really based on a number of factors: by a physician, or a certified athletic trainer, physical exam, what symptoms the patient's having, and then something called impact testing, which is a computer-based test ideally done at the beginning of a season and then after a head injury to follow how that person is doing on memory, short-term recall, reaction time, and that can be used to help then assess, is that athlete ready to go back to play.
And Jen, last but certainly not least here, we should mention it's not just football. Football's getting all the attention these days.
That's right,
any
Jeff.
contact
That's
sport,
right. It's not just football and it's not just boys. It's hockey, it's lacrosse, it's baseball, it's soccer, and girls are more susceptible than boys to traumatic brain injury. So again, it's not just your sport or your season, it could be your life.
Anything that can involve those collisions. All right, Jen
Absolutely.
Ashton, thank you very much.
Jeff.